Raider Nation, what's the deal, man? Once again, it's your guy PanamaFargo, back to y'all live on another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure y'all keep tapping in with that like and subscribe button, man. I know I've been making these videos far few between, but at the end of the day, man, it's the off season, and I don't really like talking football if there's not a lot of football going on. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I like to make good content, at least make some content that we can talk about in the off season, man, that can get us rocking and rolling in the training camp. So we almost at 500 subscribers. Keep sharing out the content, keep liking, keep subscribing, and we're gonna grow together, man. You know what time it is. But as for the topic of conversation today, man, this is what I want to talk about. I've seen a lot on social media, man. A lot of people have saying that the Raiders have actually gotten worse than they were last year. All right, now last year there were some lofty expectations for the team. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's been the narrative going around that from last year to this year, the Raiders have gotten worse. The Raiders are looking like a much worse team. And I'm here to discuss that, man. Actually, I'm here to push back on that. Honestly, I think the Raiders got either the same, and it's the same amount of talent and equal to last year, or it might be a slight tick better. And this is my explanation. These are my reasons why, man. So look, check this out. Number one, you look at the quarterback position, right? Now you're going from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo. Some may argue to me that Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you're telling me talent-wise, as far as throwing the ball, him and how he throws the ball, you got it. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think overall, Jimmy is a better quarterback. And this is why. Playing the position, Jimmy seems to have more command. Jimmy seems to have more poise at playing the position than Derek Carr. And there are certain things that Jimmy does well that Derek does not, as far as ball placement. Jimmy's ball placement is, I would say, at least a slight bit better than Derek Carr. I'm not saying it's out of this world, but it is a slight bit better, you know what I mean? And you have to think about this, his comfortability in this system is not gonna have him looking like how last year looked, you know what I mean? Like last year, Derek Carr seemed to push back off the system, seemed to not really be comfortable. Now this year, what's the offense gonna look like with a quarterback who already knows the system and is already comfortable with the coach and his play calling? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, these are things that we really have to think about. Running back, the same. O-line, you can argue the same, you know what I mean? And minus that right guard position. Now that's going to be the determining factor, you feel what I'm saying? To me, it's between Natane Moody and McClendon Curtis probably going for that right guard position. And they did sign somebody else, I believe it's Greg Van Wild or somebody like that, as far as to compete for that guard position as well. So you can argue O-line the same. Maybe they're better with a year under their belt in this system, you feel what I'm saying? Maybe they get better. So now you go to the wide receivers, okay? Wide receivers, if anybody is arguing to me that the wide receiver core from this year to last year is worse, shut the fuck up, bro. There's no way in hell any of you can believe that this receiving core is worse than last year. When you look at last year, you had Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Mac Hollins. Who else did we have? I'm trying to think of the names. I can't even think of the names right now. See, there we go. That's a fucking problem. At the end of the day, right, we didn't have Renfrow for much of the year, so that was a blow. But now we were relying on Mac Hollins, who was his first year really breaking out as a receiver, man. Before that, he really didn't have no stints like that. So now, when you look at this receiving core, you have Devontae Adams, still have Hunter Renfrow pending, which we'll see what will happen after June 1st. But you got Hunter Renfrow, you add Jacoby Myers, a proven veteran receiver who knows how to run routes, who knows how to do all the little shit, right? As far as being a good NFL receiver, it is a great number 2 option to Devontae Adams, all right? And you add Phillip Dorsett, you draft Trey Tucker, and you have DeAndre Carter, under contract as well. So you add speed, okay, that you didn't have last year. You had to remember last year, bro, was a lot of Devontae going over the top, which I've discussed many times, bro, and many other content creators have said, bro. Devontae was playing a role last year that he's not used to playing. You feel what I'm saying? That was not his primary role. And just on a quick tip, this ain't nothing but I was watching, Aiden O'Connell's highlights, right? And this is just the funny part. I was watching Aiden O'Connell's highlights, and he was throwing a lot of back shoulders, which made me think, damn, how many back shoulders did Devontae Adams really do last year? And when he was with Green Bay, I'm like, shit, we saw that damn near every week with him and Aaron Rodgers. So, it's just something to think about. But at the end of the day, we talking about the wide receivers, man. The wide receiver group is completely overhauled, and I believe is way better than the receiving core from last year. So now, going into the defense, which is the question mark of all Raider teams as far as the last decade goes, right? You go into the defense, can you argue that it's the same or better than last year? When you look at the D-line, right, and the addition of now number 7 overall pick, Tyree Wilson, right? You get that. Now you're looking at the D-line, maybe you can have more mix and match going in there. You still have, Max Crosby, of course. You still have Chandler Jones. Now you're hoping that Neil Farrell takes that step, right, and can be your run stopper. You drafted a couple guys this year in Byron Young and, Nesta Jade Silvera. You drafted a couple guys, man, that you may have some good impact from. Now, this is the thing. We have to continue to see how this coaching staff's player development is on the defensive side of the ball. That's where it's all contingent, because as you see from the roster, that's what they're banking on. You know what I'm saying? So you look at the D-line's about the same to me. D-line's about the same. I mean, with the addition to Tyree Wilson, that does, help a little bit, and Nessa J. Silvera, Byron, that helps. But we're on a wait and see period with them. They got to get on the field. We got to see. So as for right now, it's the same. You go to the linebacking core. I've talked about it countless times on this channel. The linebacking core for us is just complete garbage. All right, it's bad. As a whole, all right, as a whole, it's bad. Now, a lot of people are going to tell me, nah, they're not that bad. This is what it is. But at the end of the day, bro, you know what I mean? We got to call a spade a spade. You got a lot of run stoppers in there. You got a lot of guys that are one-dimensional type players. You know what I'm saying? Or you have some guys in here that are injury prone. And at the end of the day, injury prone players are a problem as well. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we got to see what we're going to be doing at this linebacker position. We're on a wait and see period with that too, because we're all hoping for that Divine Diablo breakout. We're hoping that Spillane can come in and really command the defense, but we don't know. You know what I mean? We never know. And like I said, player development and availability is going to be the determining factors here, right, for this Raider defense. Now you go to the secondary. The secondary, to me, of the Raiders defense is the bright spot. All right, because I feel like this secondary has gotten a step better than last year, right? You're looking at Nate Hobbs, who we're all hoping takes that step. All right, he was injury prone, but at the end of the day, last year was his first year really, missing some time. So we're going to give him a pass for that. This year, we're hoping he takes that next step, right? Now, you going from him, David Long, who looks like a good athlete, right? But at the end of the day, wait and see, David Long. But you get Duke Shelley, all right, somebody who played very well last year, somebody who proved that he can play in the NFL at a high level, you know what I mean? And now you add him here, he's veteran, okay? And now you add Jaquan. I keep saying this man's name wrong, from Maryland, so please forgive me, Jacorian Bennett, right? You add him from Maryland, and he looks like a promising young prospect. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be a number one corner, but at the end of the day, he looks promising, okay? And you add him, and there's and you still have Sam Webb as well. There are multiple players on the secondary that have young, up-and-coming talent, and you can see the talent, man. And now I'm very excited about what this secondary can do. Now you're looking at the safety position as well, okay? You signed Marcus Epps from the Eagles, somebody who was played 97% of the Eagles' defensive snaps. All right, somebody you can rely on. So that's good. Got Trayvon Merrick, who I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on, because as of right now, he has not been what we thought he was going to be. Now, is that a product of changing multiple fucking systems while you're being a young player? Some of it is that. You feel what I'm saying? So we can't blame him totally. But at the end of the day, talent's gonna show. Talent is gonna show on the field regardless. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm hoping he can take that next step, and if he does, that's gonna unlock this Raider secondary for sure. You go ahead and draft Chris Smith, somebody who I think, right, is going to have some good minutes coming in, but can see a role increase if Merrick and certain other players don't start playing better. You feel what I'm saying? So that's another guy, and that's another guy from the draft that you can see that they're on a player development track with. You feel what I'm saying? You see how many players and rookies that are gonna be on this defense playing? They're trying to make their stamp on defense, and they're trying to bring in the culture with these new players. Now, to me, saying all those things, right? The defense, the offense, I can't really see how we got worse. I can't. I really cannot. I mean, at the end of the day, man, if we got worse, I would come out here and I would definitely tell y'all, bro, and I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. At the end of the day, man, I'm going to come out here and give y'all the real. If we were coming out here and I would feel like this team took a very massive step back, I'm coming out here and I'm talking shit. But seeing as though it looks like the team has not taken a major step back, to me, as far as everything, it's either lateral moves or moves that are a tick better. That's just to me, you know what I mean? And as far as the defense goes, bro, I mean, how much fucking worse can the defense be? You feel what I'm saying? So it's only up from here. That's how I think about it. The defense is only up from here. So I don't even want to fucking hear shit about that. So that's all I wanted to talk about today, man. Make sure y'all keep hitting the like and subscribe button, man. Keep sharing out the content. Almost at the 500 goal, man. And remember, always keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
Yeah. Love. I was sick of the games, sick of the way you lied on my face, thinking that there was just no other way, no other day that you could ever explain. Now you got me looking buried in pain. Wish I could bury the fame, I done married the game, and I found out that she cheat every day. So what's the purpose if you know what I'm saying? So what's the purpose if you know what I'm saying?